Kevin Lepsoe joins us, founder and CEO of Chinafy, live from up in Hong Kong. Kev, great to see you. Appreciate the time and hope you're keeping safe. So simplify and explain this. What is this partnership all about, and what is it going to help? What is it going to do for both sides?
Sure. So basically, on the Amazon side of the equation, they're launching what they call their marketplace, or effectively like an app store here in Hong Kong. And we are their launch partner for that initiative. And so basically what we do for background is essentially we make foreign websites super fast in China. And so if we take a step back, you basically have the global internet and you have the China internet. And so this is basically a bifurcation or a split in the internet called a splinternet. But because of that, what happens is that foreign websites, basically millions or hundreds of millions of them are super slow in China, if anyone's ever been to China. And so our technology addresses this in a number of ways. But essentially, you have the Google, Facebook, YouTubes of the world, and we don't help or enable those to work any faster. However, there's basically every other website. So here we have CNBC.com. It takes 7-8 seconds to load in Beijing, which is by all means super fast relative to a number of other companies. But if you look at, say, the travel sector, hotels, most of the foreign hotels also take 20 or 30 seconds, and that can be very frustrating to users in China. So what we do effectively is we make those websites very much faster to load near natively in 3 to 4 seconds. And through this partnership with AWS, we're basically looking to reach scale. They have 1 million+ customers globally. Through this marketplace, their customers can basically hit a button and their websites will work fast and seamlessly in China, provided they aren't blocked and they're already accessible.
Wow, yeah, that's the thing, Kev. I think you're being maybe necessarily so for business reasons or commercial reasons, diplomatic, because for a lot of people in China, the experience is not so much speed or just simply literally access. Because to the outside world, because of the splinternet, to get through the great firewall of China, a lot of people surreptitiously use VPNs. So what about that side of it?
Sure. So there's kind of two sides of the equation. And there's, as I mentioned, there's the types of websites that we can't help or don't deal with. And those are the YouTube or Vimeo video or Facebook. And so we don't touch those. It's basically for all the other websites. And so those websites are generally not blocked in the first place. They're just incredibly slow. So if you're a student and you're aspiring to go to, Harvard or Stanford or some overseas university and you're browsing their website, again, each page may take, 20, 30 seconds to load. And we simply make those websites super fast. But we deal with we deal with like the university in that case, where we would make their sites that much faster. So at the end of the day, VPNs are frowned upon, but the hope is that for basically the rest of the internet, which is already accessible, it just becomes super fast.
Super fast, okay. But then, a customer would understandably probably say to you, look, Kev, this sounds great, but is it safe? This is China.
Is it safe? This is China? Well, I'd say, again, the website, they are already accessible. So, again, one could just sit there and wait for let's just say BMW as an example, or some hotel. You could just wait for that site to load. And so this is basically no different. What we do is we essentially just optimize the code on the page. We basically send the content down different content delivery networks. But at the end of the day, all the content is hosted offshore, just as it is currently. It's just hosted in a more efficient manner. So, we aren't circumventing any Great Firewall rule. We aren't doing anything nefarious. It's basically just a series of optimizations that would otherwise take companies years and millions of dollars to do themselves. And we basically provide that as a bolt-on solution for any company.
Kev, I think you're just being modest, right? I mean, the thing I wanted to ask you was, so far, you're claiming you have the only tech in the world that does this kind of thing, right? What are barriers to entry? How high are the barriers to entry? That would make it harder or I don't know, easier for competitors to do the same thing? Because I know long term, you think this whole splinternet idea, the U.S. and China, different spheres, is not just going to continue, it's going to get worse.
That's correct. We're going to see increased kind of divergence between different countries. And so a lot of people, I guess, China was, I guess, perhaps the first to maybe branch off and create their own, I guess, access or a different type of internet. But, similarly in Europe, we have GDPR, and that's kind of changing things there. In India and Russia, we have some different initiatives. So from a global perspective, we are seeing a splintering or a further bifurcation or splits in the internet. What that means for us is, well, you basically have your cloud providers and you have kind of software developers. And so our technology is a mix of cloud and software. And so even though, we are partners with AWS, we are also partners with Alibaba Cloud. And the reason is that simply these cloud providers don't work on the software level of websites. And the optimizations that we do are both at the software or the HTML, just kind of rewriting some of the code, as well as the infrastructure. In terms of barriers to entry, well, there are certain economies to scale in terms of what we do. The more websites that we do, the faster and easier it is for us to process and make compatible more websites, the more applicable or able we are to have our technology work in other countries. But we've put, 80, 90 engineering years into this initiative. So I think we have a fair amount of head start on anyone else in this space.
Okay, good to know. Listen, Kev, we got to go. Thanks for spending time with us. Appreciate it very much. Keep safe. We'll do it again soon, I hope.
Thanks for having me.
Kevin Lepsoe, founder and CEO of Chinafy, joining us live from up in Hong Kong.